Yo, what's up guys? It's Noah here. And in today's video, we're going to be breaking down the NBA slate on Draftkings and Yahoo for Monday, January the 24th. Now, we do have a shorter Monday slate. We just got a little four-gamer today, but as always, guys, we are going to go through each of these four games, talk about each team, kind of give my early thoughts, what I do like, taking a first look at the slate on Sunday night. And then as we do go through each game, we will put out an early core. We'll talk about 5 players I specifically like for both Draftkings and for Yahoo. As always, though, before we get started with the breakdown, please do hit the like button down below. I do always appreciate the likes, guys. If you're new to the channel here, make sure you click that subscribe button as well. Uploading a ton of NBA content right now, trying to get up videos Monday through Friday. I'm streaming an hour before lock Monday through Friday as well on my YouTube channel. I'm still trying to get some NFL content up as well. The NFL playoffs going on right now. It was a crazy weekend of football. The NFL games were so good this weekend. We'll see how the championship games turn out next weekend, but I'll be getting some NFL content up for the championship games next weekend. I'll have stuff up for the Super Bowl. Still trying to make NBA content as well. So ton of stuff coming out on the channel. Make sure you are subscribed so that way you never miss out on any of the new videos. And also, if you have not yet, go check out the sponsor of the video, PrizePicks. Go sign up for PrizePicks. Use code Noah when you do, and PrizePicks will match your first deposit. They will give you a free bet up to $100 when you do sign up with my code. We talked about in my NFL video on that I posted on Friday for the divisional round for this weekend. PrizePicks was running a promo for Patrick Mahomes passing yards. They set it at 0.5. And then the pick I gave out to pair with that one was over 27.5 receiving yards for Gabriel Davis. We talked about those two picks I really liked in that video. Hopefully you were able to pair those two together, make some easy money. PrizePicks they run those promos all the time. Not that just wasn't like a one-time thing. We've seen them do those those free square promos where they basically give you just a free pick, it's a free win, and then you just have to find another pick to pair with that. Hopefully you guys were able to take advantage of that promo. If you're new though and you have not signed up for PrizePicks yet, make sure you sign up over there. Use code Noah. You'll get your first deposit matched up to $100, and you can take a look at PrizePicks board for tonight's NBA games. Take a look at some of the props they already have up and available. You can take a look at some NFL stuff. They do already have some NFL props posted for the championship games on Sunday. So if you want to take a look at that, you can take a look at that, make some bets for those props as well. But yeah, man, PrizePicks offer a ton of sports. You can mix and match sports. You can win up to 10 extra money over there. If you are new and you have not signed up, go sign up for PrizePicks. Use code Noah, and they'll match your first deposit. They'll basically double whatever your first deposit is up to $100. But yeah, guys, let's take a look at Monday's little 4-game NBA slate. We're going to start off with the Knicks and Cavs game. So looking at the Knicks side here, they are one of the teams on a back-to-back today. We actually do have a few teams on a back-to-back. I think the Knicks, the Bulls, the Jazz are on back-to-backs, and I think Cleveland is on a back-to-back as well. I can't remember, honestly. I can't remember if Cleveland played on Sunday or not. I don't think they did. Yeah, they didn't, but I definitely think the Knicks, the Bulls, and the Jazz, those are our 3 teams on a back-to-back. The Jazz are definitely a team we'll have to talk about later in the video because there could be a lot up in the air with the Jazz. On the Knicks side, really the only injuries we're going to have to watch here are Kemba Walker, who was questionable Sunday and did not play, and then Mitchell Robinson played Sunday, but he actually got injured and did not return. So there's a possibility that Mitchell Robinson could be out today. We'll have to monitor that. We'll start off with Julius Randle at the top for 9,700. Normally at this price point in a tougher matchup against Cleveland, I don't think Julius Randle would really stand out. But this is a shorter slate, just 4 games. There's really not many pay-up options today. Julius Randle is the most expensive pay-up option because obviously Sabonis is out right now. So you're looking at guys like Julius Randle, Vooch, Devin Booker, Darius Garland, maybe Rudy Gobert if he plays, DeRozan, SGA. These are the guys we're looking to spin up for. We don't have any Jokic, Giannis, LeBron, Embiid, those top-tier studs that we usually always want to try and jam in. We don't really have any of those guys on this slate. So I think Julius Randle definitely is a pretty good pay-up option here. Is he likely to put up 60 DraftKings points and be great at his price point? I don't think so. But if he can give us 50 DraftKings points, that's probably going to be good enough because I don't think many of the other studs are going to put up, 60, 65. So I think, Julius Randle here at 9,700 is viable for sure. RJ Barrett at 7,600. The price tag's kind of high, but man, RJ Barrett's role has just been so good. He's been playing so many minutes in close games. They're playing RJ Barrett close to 40 minutes. He played 43 minutes against the Clippers on Sunday, had 59 DraftKings points, looked great in that game. 28 points, 14 rebounds, 6 assists. He's been producing at a really high rate. His usage has been way up. He's been taking a ton of shots. Again, tougher spot against Cleveland, not the best matchup, but I think RJ Barrett is definitely viable today. Alec Burks, I would only be going to if Kemba Walker is out. If Kemba Walker plays, I have zero interest in Alec Burks. Even if Kemba Walker's out, 7,100, that's a lot to pay for Alec Burks. He really hasn't been that great even in the starting lineup. He did start in place of Kimba on Sunday, played 30 minutes, had 24 Draftkings points. Like, I think Burks would be a playable option, but man, like, his price point doesn't make him stand out even if Kimba's out again. If Kimba plays, I guess you could consider him. When he's been playing and been healthy, I mean, he's been starting and playing around 30 minutes. I still think he's more of a riskier tournament option, but we know the upside is there for Kimba when he's healthy. We saw him put up big games, during that stretch of games when he was starting, kind of leading up to Christmas Day. Like, he was playing really, really well then. I still think Kimba has that kind of upside if he can come out and play well, early on. Again, a riskier option, but I think Kimba is at least viable if he plays today. Mitchell Robinson probably wouldn't go there at 6K. I think that price point is just high enough to where I don't have a ton of interest in Mitchell Robinson if he plays today. But if Mitchell Robinson is out, we can look to Nerlens Noel for value. I'm guessing that Nerlens Noel would start in place of Mitchell Robinson. He played 26 minutes. He played a lot after Robinson got injured on Sunday. Nerlens Noel is a decent point per minute player. Hasn't been as good this year, especially playing alongside Julius Randle. But he would probably start and play around 30, maybe 32 minutes. 4,200. Nerlens Noel would definitely be a guy we could look to for value today if, by some chance Robinson isn't able to play. And that's probably it from the Knicks. I don't see too much I really like here outside of those guys. Cam Reddish made his debut, but he played like 5 minutes, which is just weird to see. I mean, Cam Reddish, such a good player, such a, good role player. You would think he'd be getting more run with this Knicks team, but right now it doesn't seem like he's really going to play much. So, yeah, I think that's probably it for the Knicks. Now, moving on to the Cleveland side and talking about the Cavs. So Darius Garland, kind of the same thing can be said here as we did with Randall. Normally at 9,300, Darius Garland would not be like a guy I'd be trying to jam in. But when you look at this slate as a whole, just 4 games, not a ton of pay-up options, I think Darius Garland looks pretty solid. We know the role is great. I mean, Darius Garland's going to play 36, close to 40 minutes if it's a close game. He has 50, 55 point upside. This matchup against the Knicks, I think, is pretty good. The Knicks defensively this year have not been nearly as good as they have been in previous seasons. They've been giving up a lot of open threes as well. So I think Darius Garland's a pretty good play here. He is someone I do like quite a bit as a pay-up option today. 9,300 on DK. Really like him on Yahoo. I think $34 at the shooting guard position. Darius Garland definitely stands out as one of the better shooting guard plays on Yahoo. Then you got the bigs, Evan Mobley and Jared Allen. 8K for Allen, 7,900 for Mobley. At those price points, I don't think either one of them stand out as like priority plays today, but they're fine. Don't really have much of a preference between the two, but I think Allen and Mobley are both in play. Not priorities for me though. Lauri Markkanen is out for the Cavs, so that should open up more minutes for guys like Lamar Stevens, Cedi Osman. We'll have to wait and see what the starting lineup is for Cleveland. I'm guessing that maybe they start Stevens or Osman. They'll probably go with Dean Wade. We kind of see whenever a guy gets ruled out, like Dean Wade's a guy that always starts. I think Dean Wade actually did start the second half in place of Lauri Markkanen after Markkanen got injured. He still only played 13 minutes though. Dean Wade's normally not that productive of a player anyway, so like even if he does start, I don't think he's going to be that great of a value play. But a guy like Cedi Osman is someone, he's someone that can actually produce at a pretty good rate. He played 19 minutes in that game against OKC after Markkanen got injured, had 13 DK points. He's only 3,300 by some chance if they start Cedi Osman today. I think 3,300, Cedi Osman would probably be one of the best value plays on the slate if he winds up starting for Markkanen. Lamar Stevens probably plays some more as well. Again, I don't have much of a strong preference between these Cleveland value guys. Isaac Okoro, his minutes are already pretty secure, but his minutes ceiling I think is even higher with Markkanen out. It's going to come down to starting lineup. If they start Dean Wade, I think Dean Wade's playable, but if they start Cedi Osman, then I'd be really interested because I think Cedi Osman would be a pretty good value if he winds up starting for Markkanen. But that's probably it from Cleveland. We can take a look at the next game, Chicago and OKC. So looking at the Bulls today, still no Zach LaVine, no Lonzo Ball. Caruso is now out again as well. Vooch and DeRozan, their roles are going to be great. Vooch is going to play 35, 36 minutes if it's a close game. The matchup against OKC is really good. Again, the price point for Vooch I think is probably where it should be. If not, he's a little bit overpriced. But just given how this slate shakes up, I think Vooch is a fine pay-up option for sure. He's someone you can definitely look to. I probably would prefer DeRozan just straight up, especially given the little discount. I think DeRozan's one of the stronger pay-up options today as well, right up there with Darius Garland. 9,100 feels like an appropriate price tag for DeRozan, but we know the upside is there for him. We know he's going to play big minutes if it's a close game. I will say that this is a back-to-back for the Bulls, so just keep an eye on the injury report. There's always a possibility that guys sit on a back-to-back, but I'm guessing that DeRozan and Vooch will play today. DeRozan I definitely do like at 9,100. Then you got Kobe White and Io, who are both going to play a lot as well. I mean, if this game's close, like you're going to get 36, close to 40 minutes from Vooch, DeRozan, White, Io. But 7K for Kobe White, like that price point, I think he's gotten to a point where I don't think he really stands out. Io at 6'5", again, another guy that I think is just priced where he should be. He's going to play huge minutes if it's a close game, but you're really paying a premium for him right now. And at 6,500, like I don't think he really stands out. And then the rest of these Bulls guys, I mean, these are just like dart throws. I think they started Tyler Cook in Sunday's game, but he wasn't that productive. Only had 14 DK points in 27 minutes. He's minimum salary 3K. If he starts again, he probably plays like mid-20s minutes. So like 25 minutes from Tyler Cook at minimum salary, he probably does okay. But I really don't think I'm going to be looking to many of these other Bulls. I think I'm just going to be sticking really to the top two guys here, Vooch and DeRozan, by far the best plays from this Bulls team. But then on the OKC side, looking at the Thunder. So the Thunder, they're normally a team I try and avoid for the most part, outside of like the main guys, SGA and Giddey. I haven't played like Darius Bazley or JRE or like any of these guys like the whole season almost. The Thunder run a deep rotation. They're always a threat to get blown out. I will say that, with the Bulls being on a back-to-back, with this game being played in OKC, I think this game probably does stay close, and we do see, these OKC guys play their full minutes. And in, games that are close, when SGA does play 36, 38 minutes, like he's got a ton of upside. Put up 57 DK points against Cleveland in a tough spot, 48 DK points against Charlotte in a blowout. Like I think SGA at 9K, he's probably one of the better pay-up options as well. Don't love the matchup against the Bulls. I think, this game maybe has a little bit of blowout risk, but again, I think OKC can keep it close here, especially playing at home. So 9K for SGA, I'm fine going to him on this slate. I think Giddey's probably more of a tournament play, but he's still viable at 7,300. We know Giddey has upside as well if games can stay close. We know he can contribute in all categories. I think 7.3 probably priced, about to his like his ceiling. I don't think, if he was priced much more than that, I really probably wouldn't be going to him. But at 7.3, like I think Giddey is still viable. And that's probably it from OKC, like Dort, Bazley, JRE. I really don't want to be going to these other guys. I know Aaron Wiggins has been starting recently, but like just not that productive of a player. His minutes haven't even been that great, even though he's been starting. So yeah, I think we just kind of go ahead and move on to the next game. Talk about Indiana and New Orleans. So looking at Indiana here, a lot of injuries on Indiana right now. No Sabonis, no Brogdon, Miles Turner out, TJ Warren still out. Caris LeVert questionable too, so this is a big one. Caris LeVert, I believe, has not played the last two games. He's questionable once again. If he does get ruled out, that is going to benefit a lot of guys, specifically Chris Duarte. Chris Duarte has kind of been like the go-to scorer for the Pacers as of late. He's been playing big minutes, played 39 minutes in that overtime game against Golden State, had 47 Draftkings points in a tough spot against Phoenix last game, played 31 minutes, had 29 DK points. I mean, you look at the field goal attempts, like he's been taking a lot of shots, 16 and 15 shot attempts the last two games. Duarte this season has been a really good scorer. He's been a really efficient shooter as well. So I think if LeVert is out again, we can definitely look to Duarte. I think if LeVert plays and he's not limited or anything, like he's probably a solid pay-up option. Against the Pelicans, like I think this is a game that can definitely stay close, especially with Brandon Ingram out, to where we do see LeVert play his full minutes. And LeVert's ceiling is massive. Without Sabonis, without Brogdon, without Turner, I mean, LeVert has 50, 60-point upside. I think at 8,700, like he is someone I do have interest in if he plays today. Goga, 6,200. The price tag's starting to come up, but I still think Goga looks pretty solid. Last two games without Sabonis that Goga has started, he's played 31 and 35 minutes, and in the game against Golden State, he got ejected in that game, so he would have played way more had he not been ejected, but got 35 minutes last game. He's been really productive as a starter, 33 and 35 DraftKings points. Goga's always been a productive player, just dating back to previous seasons. Whenever he's gotten playing time, he's been able to produce at a pretty good rate. He's been a fantasy point per minute player. And right now, it seems like they're just kind of, they're going to see what they have in Goga. They're going to play him big minutes every night. I think Goga's got a lot of upside. I do worry a bit about the matchup against J-Val. I think there's a lot of foul trouble risk here with Goga. I think the one way that Goga fails today is if he does get in foul trouble, which is concerning. But man, if Goga can stay out of foul trouble, like he's going to play 35, 36 minutes, and he's a fantasy point per minute player, still priced at a decent, tag, I think 6,200. He still has the upside to pay off this price tag. So I do really like Goga today. I think on Yahoo, Goga is pretty much a free square. Like he's just way too cheap over there, $14. They just haven't priced him up enough. I mean, love Goga on Yahoo. And then some of these other Pacers I think are viable. Guys like Justin Holiday, Torrey Craig. at their price points, like I don't think they stand out as great plays, but they are going to play a lot of minutes if it's a close game. We've been seeing Justin Holiday play big minutes, 34 in that game against Golden State, fouled out last game in 27 minutes, and then Torrey Craig, he's been playing over 30 minutes, 34, 30 minutes last 2 games. Again, 4,900, 5,400, like I think these guys are priced where they should be, but still viable just because the minutes will be there. And then off the bench, a guy like Jeremy Lamb, I think offers a little bit of upside. He's a guy that can be productive when he gets opportunity. In the last 2 games without Brogdon and LeVert, we've seen Jeremy Lamb play 19 and 28 minutes off the bench, put up 26 and 29 Draftkings points. I probably would only go to Jeremy Lamb if LeVert is out again. If LeVert plays, I don't think I'd be interested in Jeremy Lamb. But if LeVert's out again at 4K, like I think Jeremy Lamb is someone we can look to as a value play. And then the last guy I'll mention is Kiefer Sykes. So Kiefer Sykes has been starting at point guard. He really hasn't been that productive, though. The last 2 games, he's played 31 and 26 minutes. He's only scored 19 and 9 Draftkings points. Like, he's just been really, really bad. He's still super cheap, and I think he will start and play around 30 minutes. So, like, at 3,400, I still think Kiefer Sykes looks like a good value play. But it's obviously not great that the last 2 games he has started, he's been pretty much terrible in those games. But he's so cheap that I think he is still viable, assuming, I would prefer LeVert to be out before I go to Sykes, but he would be in play if LeVert's out again. And then on the Pelican side, Pelicans are also, kind of depleted right now. No Brandon Ingram, he's already been ruled out, and Devontae Graham is questionable as well. I think Jonas Valanciunas and Josh Hart both look like pretty good plays here. J-Val, in this matchup against Goga, J-Val should be able to have his way. His usage should be up without Brandon Ingram as well. We saw for that stretch of games whenever Ingram was out, like J-Val was dominating every night. His scoring opportunity should be up. He's obviously a really good rebounder. He's got a ton of upside. He's a great producer, even when Ingram plays, and then when you take Ingram off the floor, the numbers are even better for J-Val. So really, really like J-Val here. I think he's one of the better center plays today, along with Goga. Josh Hart, I like quite a bit too. Now, Josh Hart's price tags come up a lot, but I think his role without Ingram is just going to be so good. He's a guy that can do a little bit of everything. He can score, he can get rebounds, he can get assists, especially rebounds. Rebounds are something that Josh Hart's always been great at, but his assists have been up lately. He's always a threat to get a couple steals. He's going to play huge minutes if it's a close game. Both these teams right now are pretty depleted, so I think this will be a close game. I think we'll see the starters play their normal minutes. So I definitely like Josh Hart here at 7,400. I think his upside, without Brandon Ingram, is much higher. I think he's worth this price tag. I definitely like Josh Hart today. Like him on Yahoo as well. I think he's one of the better small forward plays. $27 over on Yahoo if you want to play Josh Hart over there. And then some other guys we could look to. I think without Brandon Ingram, there's going to be more opportunity for Devontae Graham. Now, Devontae Graham is someone that I really haven't rostered much at all this season. He just hasn't been that great. But I think with no Ingram, there's just going to be more usage available. There's going to be more opportunities for other guys to score. And I think Devontae Graham is one of these guys that can score when given opportunity. And at 5,600, I definitely will have interest in Devontae Graham today if he plays. I think Herbert Jones will get a boost without Brandon Ingram at 4,700. Herbert Jones this season he's another guy that I really haven't played that much. He's just outside of, defense and maybe shooting threes. He just doesn't do much else. But again, Brandon Ingram's out. Brandon Ingram's the highest usage player on this team, so getting him out, there's going to be a lot of beneficiaries. And I think Herbert Jones, his minutes are going to be there for sure. He's going to play a ton of minutes if it's a close game. Maybe he gets a few more open shots. Maybe a few more rebounds for Herbert Jones. He's always a threat to get a lot of defensive stats. I think Herbert Jones is a viable cheap play. And then by some chance, if Devontae Graham, who's questionable right now, if he winds up sitting, there could be a lot of opportunity for guys like Nickeil Alexander-Walker and Jose Alvarado. So if Graham gets ruled out, I'm guessing that Jose Alvarado would start. He's only 3,600. He's been pretty good on a point-per-minute basis this year when he's gotten playing time. He looked great in that last game against the Knicks, put up 27 DK points in 20 minutes. I'm guessing that if Alvarado were to start, he probably would play over 30 minutes. And at 3,600, he would be a pretty good value play on the slate. And then NAW coming off the bench, he's not had a great year. He's definitely underperformed this season. He's not been as good as a lot of people expected, including myself. But I think no Ingram and potentially no Devontae Graham as well. There would probably be a lot of minutes available for NAW. He'd probably play high 20s minutes off the bench. 3,800, we know NAW can produce when given minutes, although he's been bad lately. I still think his upside is there with no Ingram and potentially with no Graham as well. So I definitely would like a NAW even coming off the bench at 3,800. And that's probably it from the Pelicans. They're probably going to start Garrett Temple in place of Brandon Ingram. But man, Garrett Temple is just a guy I don't really want to roster. He doesn't really have much upside. He's just out there to shoot threes. And if he's not hitting his threes, he's just not going to do anything else. So even if Garrett Temple starts, I don't have that much interest in him. So yeah, I think that's it for the Pelicans. We can go ahead and talk about the last game of the night, the Jazz and the Suns. So the Jazz, I mean, they're a team we just kind of, we're guessing right now. They're on a back-to-back. They played, I'm pretty sure I can't remember who they played on Sunday. Yeah, they played Detroit. Rudy Gobert got injured in Sunday's game. He was ultimately able to play through it, but he suffered a calf strain in Sunday's game. And then Bojan Bogdanovic also got injured. He suffered a bruised right knee, a knee contusion. He was able to play through the injury. But I'm guessing both Bojan and Gobert are going to be questionable heading into today. I think there's a pretty good chance at least one of them, if not both Gobert and Bojan, are out. Normally when guys get injured in a game and they, usually if the team plays the next day, they usually don't play. So I'm guessing Gobert and Bojan will both be out today. They're going to be without Donovan Mitchell as well. He's already been ruled out. So, man, and also it's a back-to-back. So, does Mike Conley play today? Mike Conley's always been a threat to rest on back-to-backs. Now, the last few back-to-backs he has played. When they played against Denver on the 16th, he only played 23 minutes, but he did play the day after that against the Lakers. Now, he played 30 minutes on Sunday against Detroit. So, since he played 30 minutes Sunday, does he play today? I don't really know. I think Mike Conley is maybe a threat to rest here. We could definitely see Utah just sit a ton of guys. We could see no Gobert. Mitchell's already out. We could see Bojan sit. Conley could rest on a back-to-back. So, man, there could be a lot of opportunity for guys like Jordan Clarkson, Joe Ingles, even Royce O'Neal could be viable. Rudy Gay, I like a lot if both those guys are out. We'll just start off with, we'll just assume everyone plays. So if everyone plays, I don't think there's going to be a ton that stands out from Utah because everyone's been priced up for when Mitchell's been out. So you're paying the premium for Conley, you're paying the premium for Clarkson, Bojan's expensive, Gobert's over 9K. I will say the matchup for Gobert is pretty good. Right now Phoenix is without DeAndre Ayton, so it's going to be JaVale McGee and Bismack guarding Gobert if he plays today. But still, 9,200, you're paying a premium for Gobert right now. I don't think there would be much that would stand out from Utah if everyone is in. But if guys get ruled out here, there's going to be a lot of value from Utah. Jordan Clarkson, in a scenario where Gobert's out, Bogdanovic is out, and maybe Conley rest. Clarkson would be a standout play. Same with Joe Ingles. If Conley plays and Gobert and Bojan are out, I think Conley's going to look pretty good at 7,200. Royce O'Neal, I don't know if his role is going to change too much, but I think if Gobert sits, that would benefit Royce O'Neal a little bit. He would play a ton of minutes too. Rudy Gay, though, I think would be the value play I'd have the most interest in. We've seen Rudy Gay, at times, be kind of the backup center. As of late, they've been without Hassan Whiteside, so they've kind of used Rudy Gay as the backup center. His minutes haven't been the best. They haven't been great. But I think here in the scenario where, by some chance, Gobert and Bojan both are out, we'll probably see Rudy Gay maybe start. I don't know if they would start him as center or maybe just start him in place of Bojan. But I think Rudy Gay would play a lot if both those guys are out, even if he comes off the bench. Rudy Gay's been really productive on a point-per-minute basis this year with the Jazz. So even if he comes off the bench and plays 25 minutes, he's still going to project really well at his salary. By some chance, if he starts, you probably assume he plays around 30 minutes. For 4,200, I think Rudy Gay is going to be one of the better value plays today. If Bojan or Gobert get ruled out, one of the two, and if both of them are out, then even better. Rudy Gay is really cheap on Yahoo, so I like him a lot over there. And then depending on what the starting lineup looks like if Gobert sits, so Whiteside was out Sunday. We don't have an update yet on Whiteside. If by some chance Gobert is out and Whiteside plays, then Whiteside's going to look great, obviously, because I'd assume Whiteside would go back to starting and playing big minutes. I would like Whiteside a lot in that scenario. If Whiteside and Gobert are both out, they probably would start either Azubuike or Norvell Pell. I don't even know if Norvell Pell's still on the team. I guess he did play 8 minutes on Sunday. They probably would start Azubuike in place of Gobert if Gobert and Whiteside are both out. So maybe Azubuike could be viable. We've seen him start, though, in the past. He started that game against Denver, and he only played 16 minutes. So I don't think I'd be going to, I wouldn't be too excited about Pell or Azubuike. But, man, Rudy Gay, if Gobert and Bojan are both out, Rudy Gay would look really good. Eric Pascal would probably play a little bit more. But Rudy Gay definitely would be my favorite value here from Utah. Right now, though, Utah's a tough team to break down because there's a lot of questionable guys here. They were on a back-to-back. Somebody's probably going to get ruled out from Utah. We just got to wait and see who it's actually going to be. We'll talk more about Utah when we stream Monday, an hour before lock. So tune into the YouTube channel an hour before lock. I'll be live talking through this slate once again with you guys, answering any questions you have. Hopefully, we'll have some news on the Jazz by then. But yeah, let's talk about Phoenix real quick before we do end the video. So looking at the Suns today, Devin Booker and Chris Paul at the top. I think both are solid. Booker at 9,400. I think he's kind of priced to his ceiling right now. You know, there's other guys I probably would rather pay up for. I think I'd rather go to like DeMar DeRozan and SGA and Darius Garland, some of these other guys we've talked about, maybe Julius Randle as well. But we know Devin Booker still has a lot of upside. Now, his floor at this price tag is pretty low. Like, Booker could go out there and put up 35 DraftKings points and just be terrible at his salary. But he does have big-time upside. Matchup against the Jazz may not be ideal. But I think Booker is playable. I think Chris Paul, his upside is way higher right now because Cameron Payne is out today. Cameron Payne got injured in their game against the Pacers, and we saw Chris Paul actually play 41 minutes, and that was in regulation. So, I think Chris Paul is going to play a ton here without Cameron Payne. I think they're probably going to stagger Chris Paul and Booker so that one of those two guys is on the floor at all times. You'll see a lot of times they'll let Payne kind of run the second unit, and they'll give Chris Paul and Booker some rest. But I think they're going to stagger Booker and Paul. Paul should play a lot. I think 8,600, like Chris Paul looks pretty good today. I think he has, normally he plays like 32, 33 minutes. I think his minutes will be like in the high 30s, 36, 37, 38. So I definitely like Chris Paul at 8,600. DeAndre Ayton is doubtful, so we're going to see, a committee with Bismack Biyombo and JaVale McGee at center. JaVale McGee's been starting, but he's just not been playing that well. Now, he did play pretty well in only 18 minutes against the Pacers on Saturday. Had 35 DraftKings points. That's the kind of upside that JaVale has. Now, the JaVale experience has not been good. So I played JaVale these two slates when he started. 23 minutes, 18 DraftKings points, 18 minutes, 12 DraftKings points. I don't play him on Saturday, and of course he goes nuts. 35 DK points in 18 minutes. Like, I feel like whatever I do with JaVale, if I play him, he does terrible. If I don't play him, he smashes. I probably won't play him today, and he'll smash again, but I don't have that much interest in JaVale. His just minutes haven't been that great. Now, Bismack Biyombo, on the other hand, his minutes have been really, really good. Even coming off the bench, he's played 25, 28, and 30 minutes the last 3 games. I don't know why they don't just start Bismack if they're going to play him way more. If Bismack were to start, I think he looked pretty good just because he's been really productive when given minutes. Now, do I expect Bismack to go out there and put up 50 DraftKings points again like he did on Saturday? No, I'm not expecting 50 DK points, but if he plays, 25, close to 30 minutes, I mean, Bismack is a point-per-minute player. He can give us a pretty good, score for his salary in 30 minutes. So I think Bismack Biyombo, with the way his minutes are trending up and with the way McGee's are trending down, I think Bismack's the center I'd rather go to. It's still risky with those two guys just because it is a committee. I think whichever one's playing well will probably get more minutes, but right now Bismack's the guy that's kind of got the upper hand. So I think Bismack, if I had to play a center from Phoenix, it probably would be him. And then value-wise, we do have some value from Phoenix I want to talk about. So no Cam Payne and no Jay Crowder as well. So Jay Crowder obviously is a starter, normally plays high 20s into the 30s in minutes. I'm guessing with Jay Crowder out, we will see Cameron Johnson start. Whenever Jay Crowder was out for protocols, they were starting Cameron Johnson in place of Crowder. And Cameron Johnson was playing really well when he was starting. He was playing big minutes. All these games were basically without Crowder. These games early January, 34, 30, 35, 35 minutes, 33, 22, 32, 41 DraftKings points. Like Cameron Johnson, he can be productive when he gets minutes. He can rebound. He's a really good three-point shooter. He's a really efficient shooter. He seems like he always has open looks as well. Anytime you're playing with Chris Paul, you're going to get opportunities to get open looks just because Chris Paul is such a good passer. He always finds the guys that are open. I think 3,900 for Cameron Johnson, expecting him to start in place of Jay Crowder. Like Cameron Johnson looks like one of the better value plays today. Really, really like him on both sides. Really cheap on DraftKings. Now on Yahoo, Cameron Johnson is not as cheap there. He's $19. Still think you can play him though, just because he is going to play high 30s minutes most likely. And he's been productive when he's gotten minutes this year. So I do still like Cameron Johnson on Yahoo, even at that somewhat high price tag. But that's probably it from Phoenix. Now, with Cameron Payne out, there's probably going to be more minutes available for guys like Landry Shamet and Elfrid Payton. I think those guys are more dart throws. I don't have much confidence in either one of them, but they're both minimum salary. Shamet probably plays like 20, 25 minutes. Payton probably plays like 15, 20. In large field GPPs, if you want to sprinkle them in, I think it's okay. But that's it for the Suns, and that's it for this little 4-game Monday slate. So hope you guys did enjoy this video. I appreciate you watching. If you enjoyed, click that like button down below. Click that subscribe button as well. Again, go check out the sponsor of the video, PrizePicks. If you have not yet, go sign up for PrizePicks. Use code NOAH. When you do, and PrizePicks will match your first deposit. They will give you a free bet up to $100 when you do sign up with my code. You can take a look at what PrizePicks has to offer for NBA on Monday night. Take a look at some of their props they have available. Make some picks, potentially win up to 10 extra money. Also, if you guys want some of my favorite picks each day on PrizePicks, along with the entries I am playing myself, I give all that out on Patreon. You can check that out. Patreon's linked down below in the description, along with, the PrizePicks referral link, or just, when you sign up for PrizePicks, use that code Noah, and that way you will get that deposit bonus. But that's it for this Monday slate, guys. I appreciate you watching the video. I hope you did enjoy. Best of luck, and we will see you in the next one. Peace.